Hey guys, and welcome to the Shanghai Auto Show 2025. Today's video is going to be a little bit different than normal. We're going to try to make the best out of it, but this is a crazy large event where there are going to be people around all the time. But we're going to film a lot of new cool electric cars that are coming to Norway and to Europe this year, next year, and the years to come. And I want to start with this, which is a really cool off-road. And remember guys, all of the cars we're seeing today are electric because we only do electric cars here on the channel. This is a really cool new electric car coming called iCar. Though when it comes to Europe, the lettering is going to be a little bit different because of, trademarks in Europe. But this is a really cool and rugged small electric car, only 4.4 meters, and it looks really, really nice. You can see that, the front end, really rugged. It kind of looks a little bit like a Jeep and also like a Land Rover in front, kind of a mixture between both. And then when we walk over to the side here, you can see it has really these rugged fenders, also really rugged wheels, and a pretty decent, travel here for the suspension and ride height. But the fascinating thing is just, it's so small. And I hope the pricing, which I'm going to put on the screen for you guys if it's available. I don't have pricing for all the cars we're going to look at today, but I hope because of the pricing that it will actually be competitive. So we move over to the side. You can actually see, how small and short this car is. Of course, it has kind of these Land Rover style of details. It's kind of mixture of all. And also you have, these side steps here also. And you can see that it's about, more than 1.8 meters tall, but it's like 4.4 meters long. It is actually very short. Also here on the rear, you have your charge port. This is, the Chinese connectors, but of course, when it comes to Europe, it's gonna have the CCS connector, nice placement, nice action. And also I really love these rear taillights. And also it says MMW radar. I'm not sure what that is. I'm gonna put that up on the screen for you guys. Parking sensors here and down below. And then you have this, I think this is for your cable maybe storage, but this is called the backpack. And I think that's like a light. It is actually really cool and rugged. So this is called the V23. That is this model name. And then we can take a look here. This is the trunk. And it's not, the biggest trunk, but for being this size of vehicle, it's actually pretty decent. And you have, underfloor storage. This tucks nicely away. So for being a car that's only 4.4 meters long, I think this is very, competitive for the other types of vehicles in this class. So let's check out the interior of the V23. So it's a quite big, step in height to get into the vehicle, and you actually sit really high. So if you like the exterior, this interior is actually really, really cool. So there's no display in front of the driver, but you have, these really cool graphics there. It's really rugged and rough, this car. I love, oh my God. No, seriously, this is one of the nicest, and I'm not kidding, one of the nicest volume knobs I've ever encountered in any car. This, looks and feels like, these old hi-fi systems we had in the 80s and 90s. That is really nice. And then you have your drive modes here. So it's in Chinese. I have no idea what it says. And then you have, toggles and switches. I really like this interior, guys. This is the first time sitting in this. And the dashboard is so clean. You have, this really big touchscreen display. The only thing I'm lacking, would be nice with just having a screen in front of you. But, headroom is really nice. And I'm, okay, so maybe my knee is a little bit close. So I'm about 180 centimeters tall, 5'11", but I really like, this interior. So maybe we'll hop into the rear and check out the rear seat room behind myself. So there's a real, step in height. And this is actually really surprising. Oh my God. Okay, so again, this seat is set to my driving position. I'm 180 centimeters, 5'11", and look how much room I have. This car is only 4.4 meters long. I can't believe the packaging here is actually amazing. The only thing, if you could slide up these seats to get even more, you know, storage in the rear, is probably possible, but I can't find anything here. This is actually a sizable interior for being such a small car. So the car we have here is called the Exlantix, but again, like with the iCar, this trademark somebody else owns in Europe. So when this comes to Europe and to Norway this year, this is going to be called the Exlantix. So this is their sedan, the ES, and this has some really cool Lambo style doors, but they've told me that you can actually open and close these doors normally. But there is a button here which I think you can press and it closes, which is, sorry. And you can also press it again and then it opens. But they told me that it can actually open up like a normal door if you don't want it to open up in a fancy way. So I've already made a video about this car last year when I was here in China. If you come over here, we can take a step inside. Sorry, it's so busy here, as I said, guys. So for this video, I've actually been invited by Exlantix to Shanghai, to China, and Exlantix is a brand under the Chery Group. So in this video, we're only going to be showing, you know, Chery Group brands because they have their videographer. I'm hopefully going to be showing you other cars later on, but it is so crazy here. There may not actually be time, but okay, I just want to get that out of the way. So I think I have to close the door with this because the door controls are actually here on the door and the seat goes back in place. So this has, you know, a normal screen up front, and then you have, you know, the steering wheel here. So this is, you know, a sedan, a sporty sedan to compete with, you know, the likes of the BMW i5, Audi A6 e-tron, and stuff like that. But again, I'm going to report later to you guys about this car when I get to drive it. This is the SUV in the lineup. I've already filmed a video about this last year here again in China. I'm going to get to drive this later in the week and make a proper video. But what I really like about this car is the clean design, and also I really love this, you know, color. It's like a gray white, kind of reminds me of the Audi e-tron GT I had a few years ago, which was Suzuka gray. So I really like the styling of this. You can see that it is very popular. There are a lot of people, you know, in this car, so I don't think we're going to have anytime soon. But again, like with the branding here, Exceed, this is going to be called Exlantix. But yeah.
So this car is our Exlantix ET. It's also a BEV car. You can right now to start to enter this car and experience it.
Yeah.
How's the feeling about this car?
So I'm going to be honest, I love the interior color. It's white, it's really nice. I'm a fan of, you know, everything being so light colored. So I hope you can bring this color to Norway. In Norway we like dark colors, but this is beautiful. I really like this.
Glad to hear that. And if you want if you want any suggestion about this car, what is the suggestion you want to give us?
Or if I were to give a suggestion?
Yeah.
Or maybe, I don't know, I haven't tried it yet, but I like normal steering wheels. But I see that this is low, so you can see the screen, right? So it's a bit different, but you know.
So after we come back to Woohoo, let's drive it.
Yeah, that's definitely.
And they also bring to experience the NOA.
Okay.
Navigation by itself.
Or it will drive by itself.
Yeah,
that would be really good. Yeah. So we're not going to be able to enter this car. This is just, you know, on display here on an odd angle with all of these chairs and stuff like that, which is really cool. So this is accessories you can actually buy with the car, which is actually pretty cool. You have, you know, these lawn chairs, maybe the cacti not, but you know, the cooking stuff and the coffee maker. But this is called Jaecoo, right? It's called Jaecoo. Yeah, I'm looking at my guy here, Jaecoo. Like all of these, and this is actually going to be called Jaecoo or when it comes to Europe. This is the J5. This is, you know, an electric version. They're also going to launch something called the J7, which is going to be like a plug-in hybrid in Europe. But I really like the fact that it is so clean. Obviously, inspiration from Land Rover and Range Rover. And this is also a car I'm going to be able to look closer at later in the week. But if we walk over around here to this stuff, you can actually, you know, see the Range Rover, Land Rover inspiration, the clamshell hood, the really clean lines, but it is a much smaller vehicle. You can see this, Unlike, you know, that V23, which was taller than me, this isn't, even when it is raised. But I really like, you know, the color here, these gray colors. This, if you come closer, you can actually see it has a light colored interior, but we're not probably gonna be able to see that. And when we move around here, you know, these obvious inspiration from Range Rover Sport, I don't think that is necessarily a bad thing. You know, really cool and nice lettering. But yeah, this is absolutely something to look out for when it comes to Europe if, you know, the pricing is gonna be competitive. So this is a very interesting car, and you may think it looks familiar, and that is because it's built on the same platform as the Exlantix. This is only a Chinese domestic market vehicle, but it is actually really cool because it's made in collaboration with Huawei technology. And you can see the front end, you know, really cool and sporty design elements. Also, you know, the spoilers and fins down below. It does look very sporty. And also, I really like the wheels. I've seen these exact same wheels or a version of these wheels on the ET. You can see, you know, it has, you know, that sloping roof and coupe style, you know, sedan coupe style body shape with the spoiler at the rear. And also, if you come closer, you can see that it has, you know, a really cool and nice carbon fiber spoiler. So it's just a really, you know, sporty looking thing. And you can see there's so many people around here, guys. It's gonna crazy shooting a video. But it's actually really, really nice. It's the sedan like the ES. You can see that, you know, it has that inspiration from that car. So inside the Luxeed, and you know, it kind of reminds me of that ES from Exlantix, but the steering wheel is more similar to the ET with the small steering wheel and the screen up top. Maybe not my most favorite, but you know, I get the concept. It is weird, but we've seen this, you know, from brands like Peugeot for many years. And you know, I really like, you know, this red color interior, same type of, you know, fabrics up in the roof. You have the mirror here, and also looks like, you know, there's glass. This is really cool. If you come closer and take a look up in the roof, you can actually see, you know, the glass actually is extending all the way back. There's no, you know, pillar there. That is actually really, really interesting. But yeah, cool car with a cool interior with Huawei sound system and Huawei technology. You can see, you know, the tweeter up top there, which says Huawei, cameras and sensors, Huawei Drive 1. There's probably, I'm guessing, is there, you know, autopilot, auto steer functionality. Yeah, cool car. So this is called the Luxeed R7, their SUV, and you can knock to open the front. Oh, okay, that's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. Knock to open. So we're gonna do that again? Okay. So we just wanna do that again. That's really fun. Knock. And then it opens up. Okay, cool. So this is the R7, which is their SUV, based on the same platform, I'm guessing, as the other, the sedan. And you can see that this is very popular, really cool purple color. And you know, the same headlights, more sporty, like that other model we were seeing over there. Different types of wheels, of course. And this is kind of interesting, you know, a chrome trim around, you know, the rear view camera and stuff like that. So we can see if we can take a step inside here also. So inside the interior of the R7, and we can just close the door a little bit here because they're screaming around, just a little bit peace and quiet. You know, this is storage here, cup holders, dual wireless chargers, but like the sedan, you know, this interior, pretty much the same as that. You do sit higher, and also, you know, this has a massive panorama sunroof. It is actually a pretty decent looking type of interior. Again, not a huge fan, you know, of this steering wheel, but you know, it's actually pretty nice. We want to hop in the rear and see if there's a lot of space there also. Okay, so hopping in the rear, and I think this seat was slid back, so I think this is going to be much closer to my actual driving position. Really nice and comfortable surface. And you know, I love these light colored interiors, but this is really cool. Take a look at this. You have, you know, on the door here, you have your temperature controls there. That is actually pretty sleek and cool. You have cool seats in the rear, you have heated seats also, but that is actually really nice. And they also have a massaging function. This is like really nice, cool implementation of tech into you know, the cabin details. I really like that. That is actually pretty cool. So guys, that is what we had for this video. All of the Chery Group brands that have electric cars here. There are probably a few cars here we haven't shown, but this has, you know, been a crazy event. I also filmed another video with other non-Chery Group cars, and the thing is, it's a lot more busy in this place. I mean, we have the Chery Group here with their Chery brands. We have the iCars over there, and then over here we have the, well, the Exceeds, or which when they're coming to Europe are going to be called Exlantix, the ES and the ET. And there is so much people here. We've been here the whole day, and yeah, we're leaving for another event. Hopefully, guys, you guys are going to be seeing that video here very soon when we're going to different cities, and also I'm going to be driving the ET and the ES on the road. So guys, I hope you enjoyed today's video, and let me know what was your favorite Chery Group electric car from today's video. So guys, I hope you enjoyed today's video. If you did, please drop me a thumbs up down below, and for more car content, as always, please subscribe. See you guys later, and goodbye.